Now we're into our Q&A or question and answer time. And again, I would like to encourage you to post any questions that you may have for our presenters so that they can answer those live for you. We do have a few questions here that we would like to begin asking. So there is a question about student who is trying to decide which residence hall is closest to their classes. So how do they go about that?
Sure. So students who apply for housing will be assigned a room in the order in which we receive their application. And it will truly depend on where we have space available for the spring semester. Right now, we have many students living in our residence halls, but many will also choose to study abroad like you all are, so that will create some openings in the spring. When we get to you to assign your room, we will do our best to take into account your preferences. And on the application, you'll be asked, what are your room type preferences? And so we'll assign you based on what's available at that time. We have students who live all over campus. Most of the residence halls are within a quick 10 to 12 minute walk from the classroom buildings. So you're never far from where you'll need to be. And you can always hop on the CAM bus too if you would prefer not to walk.
Thank you so much. Then the next question was about dining. So can I eat at the dining hall if I don't live in the dorms?
Yeah, definitely. It's something all students. It's something that's open to all of our students. And so, if let's say you want to be able to eat in there, all you need to do is to simply go to the front and use like a major credit card or debit card, and that's something that can easily work for you. And our retail options are also open. If let's say that's something you're interested in, they also take credit cards and debit cards as well.
And if you decide that you want to eat on campus on a regular basis and you happen to be living off, you could purchase any of the meal plans as a student or a staff member on campus.
Excellent, thank you. And then a little sub question for this is there a halal meal option available at the dining hall?
We do have certain halal offerings, and all of our food on campus is labeled with the main allergens that you may come in contact with, so that way if you do happen to have a food allergy, you know. And if you are interested in halal meat and you're having something prepared, you just have to ask one of the chefs and they can help you acquire that.
Excellent, thank you. The next question is about availability of the housing during the summer. If international students typically stay in town, if they don't travel, they stay in town, and they're asking whether they would can they live on campus during summer?
Yep. So all students are welcome to live on campus in the summer. If you are registered for at least one credit hour of classes or are taking part in research on campus, you would be eligible to live in the residence halls. Otherwise, another option that you may want to consider would be to sublet from someone off campus who will not be here for the summer. But you'll want to make sure to connect with Student Legal Services and make sure that you are legally subletting that apartment, and pay very close attention to the dates in the summertime.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. The other question, since we're speaking about the residence halls, is about the parking. Is there a parking available nearby the residence halls? And is it free or for a fee, or how does that work?
Yeah, definitely. So we do have parking available, but as far as the residence halls are concerned, not all of our parking are really right by them. And so once you register your car and you sign up for a parking permit, you will get more information on that. And so unfortunately, it's not free. All right. And so that's one of the reasons why we always tell students that if, let's say, you think that you might not be using a car, it might not be the most helpful to have a car, simply because here at Iowa, there's so many things you can walk to. And we also have like a free campus option on campus as well. Now, if, let's say, you're off campus, there might be like a very different situation, because you might not be, not many things might be close to you. So all of this depends on your lifestyle as well as what you can afford.
And campus is the campus bus?
Yes. Yeah, so Campus is our campus shuttle, and so it's free. It's open to the public. It runs 7 days a week, and so so if let's say you need to get anywhere on across campus, you can easily hop on it. And so we have bus stops all over the campus, and if let's say you need to know when the next bus comes. If you have a smartphone, you could simply download the Bongo app, and it will give you live updates on the next bus that's coming your way.
If I could add to that, if you're living off campus, we do, the city of Iowa City and the city of Coralville also have buses. I ride the Coralville bus. I like it an awful lot. And you can, those buses are not free, but they have reduced rates for faculty, staff, and students. I think right now I pay about $15 a month, and I believe that's the price. And that covers Coralville and Iowa City. You just get one bus pass, and so that's something to consider if you're going to be living off campus. It's a fairly bus-friendly town.
Yeah, I would definitely caution from bringing a car or acquiring one right away until you get used to the campus area. We do have parking near one of our residence halls, but other than that, student parking on campus in general and parking for all of us is very limited. So riding the bus is a great tip.
I think depending on your ability, I know some students have found it easier to simply use bikes, and so bikes are always very helpful. And one thing I can say is that practically all of our halls have bike racks, and a lot of our academic buildings also have bike racks. And so if let's say you need to ride from building to building, you should be able to get spaces to chain up your bike. So a bike might be a little easier than to have a car to drive around.
Excellent. Thank you so much. This was wonderful. Probably more than the student was asking, but it's excellent to provide those options and think about it ahead of time. So one question that came from the participating student is about the length of the contract in the residence halls. And they say whether it's even a possibility that they could change their mind in the middle of the school year or the contract, because it sounds like for the whole year it may be a long time. So can you chime in?
Sure. So our housing contracts for students who live on campus, they typically run from August until May, or if you're a new student joining us in the spring, your housing contract will start in January and then run until May. Your housing contract is officially sent to you with your room assignment. And when you get that housing contract via email, you have 7 days to decide either, yes, I want to keep my housing contract, or no, I want to cancel it. And you can cancel for any reason without financial penalty. After that 7-day contract binding date is what we call it. After that 7-day period, you may cancel your housing contract, but there will be a fee associated with that. And the full details about that fee can actually be found in your housing contract itself. Now, say you get here and you decide, that your residence hall room is not working for you. We do allow students to change their rooms. So you don't have to cancel your entire contract. You could just move to a different room down the hall or into another building as space may allow.
Excellent. Let's hope that helped the student to understand what the obligations are once they sign in for the contract. Since we were talking about bikes, there's a question about whether a student can ride a bike during the winter in Iowa.
I think it depends on what you're comfortable with, if that makes sense. And so I wouldn't see necessarily like yes or no, just depending on what you're comfortable with. You might just want to, I guess, avoid the hills because that might just be a little dangerous. But other than that, that's totally fine.
Okay.
I think it depends on the tires that you have too.
Yep.
And just be careful of certain of intersections. Get a helmet, those types of things. But I definitely do see people riding bicycles in the winter.
Excellent. Thank you so much. And we have one more question, I believe, regarding the landlords and the off-campus housing related. So do the landlords provide their leases online?
Some do. If they don't, you should ask for a copy. If the landlord doesn't want to provide a copy to you, that should be kind of a warning that why would they not want to give you a copy of the contract ahead of time. So some do. You should definitely ask for a copy, and if they are giving you any trouble or you don't like the response that they give, I would suggest looking elsewhere.
Mm-hmm. Great, thank you. And then in terms of off-campus housing, can we provide an idea what is the average cost of utilities?
That's a tough question because it really depends on the size of the unit. And sometimes if it's an older home that's been broken up into rental units, that can be more expensive. You should ask the landlord, or you should see if they will give you the contact information for a person who lives in the building or someone who's lived in the apartment before. They may give you a general idea. I mean, we're not talking hundreds and hundreds of dollars. I think a water bill for one person could be $20 to $25. As far as the power or the electric goes, it really depends on, if we get a very cold winter or a very hot summer, the electric bill is going to be more expensive than the water bill.
Thank you so much. And I am sharing here very quickly in the chat function a request for filling out the quick survey from today's webinar. So please go ahead and help us fill out this survey so that we know how we did and whether you have any suggestions for any other topics that should be covered. And other than that, we are done with today's webinar. We don't have any other questions that we can see. Let me check again. Yeah, I think we answered everything. Oh, there was one question whether the presentation will be shared after the webinar and how they can access the PowerPoint. As was mentioned at the very beginning of this webinar, we are recording it. And so we will be posting the recording within about 10 to 14 days at the max on our website. And we will let you know when that's happening so that you can go back and review the recording. And also we are going to provide a text version of everything that was said today. So you will have a chance to look at it as a Word or a text document as well. So you will see that presentation again as a recording afterwards. So just a couple of reminders before we're done for today. If you have any questions about the pre-arrival checklist or any other issues that are related to your pre-arrival or arrival to Iowa City and the University of Iowa, please contact us at the email provided on this slide, and that goes directly to our orientation team, and they will be happy to address your concerns or questions. And then secondly, we would like to point you to our website that is dedicated specifically to new international students with additional resources, and you will find this very helpful. There are lots of topics, lots of different suggestions and tips, and again, web link is provided on the slide here. And then finally, we would like to invite you to follow our next webinars that are going to happen in October and November. And the next webinar is on University MyUI system as well as ISSS iHawk system. And then we will talk a little bit about travel arrangement tips. And this webinar is going to be on October 11th again. You're welcome to join us and register for this webinar. And then I would like to also mention that we have 3 pre-recorded webinars already on our website, and you're welcome to view those at your leisure or time that works for you. And again, these webinars cover different topics that we will not have chance to cover live this semester. So you're welcome to look at those, and hopefully they will give you more information on different topics. So again, thank you so much for attending today's webinar, and we look forward to having you join us in our next webinar on October 11th. Thank you and goodbye.